The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendlenutech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information. This is a test of the Boundary Park Alert System. Hello and welcome to the Boundary Park Alert System podcast with me, Matt Dean. I'm joined, as always, by Andy Halliwell. Good morning, Andy. Good afternoon.
Good morning, Matthew.
Yeah, good morning. You all right?
It is. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. Hopefully, my microphone is working this week, as we've just discussed. It was echoey last week.
Yeah, that's much better. That. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I've got to admit, I'm not looking forward to this one. I'm tired. I just want to get it over and out of the way. There wasn't anything positive about yesterday, particularly apart from maybe the weather. So I'm not in a particularly good mood. I'm not looking forward to this one. So, but needs must. It's Sunday morning. It's podcast time. We have to do what we have to do. So, on that note, please do the fan guest thing, Andy.
Yeah, we have a returning fan guest. He's been on once before, I think. We'll find out if you can improve upon what did you get in your Laticsmind goal last time? Fan
I
guest?
didn't do as well as I'd hoped. I think I've got 4. I think.
Oh, that's not bad. Well, let's see if you can do that again.
What I realised afterwards was I took about 30 seconds to answer every question. I didn't realise I could pass. I forgot about the pass option.
Yeah, you've got to fly through them.
And then I noticed a couple of weeks later there was a lad just flying through pass. Anything he didn't know, straight away pass. And I went, that's what I should have done.
That's the way. Well, let's see if you've learned.
Four sort of steady, I suppose, isn't it? But it's never going to be a winning score, is it?
Let's see if you've learned and can improve upon that. But let's go through the ritual questions again then. So, when was your first game?
Bournemouth at home. About 88.
4-0 win.
98. I think we won 2-0.
Oh, yeah,
I think it was 2-0. I think the 4-0 was a couple of years later.
That 2-0 is on. If you go onto Daily Motion and you look up Latics Memories, that's actually my account. That 2-0. There is video footage of that 2-0, quite extended video footage.
I think Frank Bunn scored.
Could have done. I remember Ian Cheeseman did a big sort of. He walked into the club and interviewed a lot of people on that day, and it's all on that video. Anyway, I digress.
I've checked through my notes, and I'm certain that's my first game because my dad argues with me that it was Aston Villa at home, and I went, "It can't be, Dad. We weren't in the same league as Aston Villa that season. They went up the year before, I think."
Yeah.
It was definitely Bournemouth at home. I've looked through it and I can confirm it was Bournemouth.
Well, watch it.
Last year I was arguing it with myself.
Watch the video footage back on Daily Motion and let me know. Yeah. Who was your first favourite player?
First favourite, probably Andy Ritchie. Yeah, Andy Ritchie. All time's got to be Gunnar Haller, but
two big ones from that era. Yeah. What is your favourite ever away game? That's a new question for you.
Yeah, there's 2. They're both from the same era. It's very close between them. I can't really decide. Aston Villa away when we won 1-0 to stay up, which was one of the best gritty defensive away performances I think I've ever seen from Oldham, to be honest. And Steve Redmond had the game of his life. We won 1-0. And it won Man United the title, sadly, but it kept us up. And then Bolton away the year after in the FA Cup, where we basically got rogered for 90 minutes, soaking wet, abused by all their horrible fans, and then stole the game in the last couple of minutes, didn't we? Which was just amazing. For me, sometimes ragging it against a local rival is better than hammering them sometimes. I know that sounds daft, but for me, the fact that we were so poor on the day and then won it in the last minute was just hilarious. Did I enjoy winding the Bolton fans up at school on the Monday?
Yeah, great games, those two. Yeah. And then give us a little known fact about yourself.
I'm now I've just passed. I think I was told you I started doing it at the time. I work with people with autism. I'm a sport worker, and I passed the other week. I've now a trainer for sign language for people with autism. Yeah, it's based on. I'll be honest. I don't know everything yet. I've got a huge book that I'm reading through to try and remember all these signs. I'm never going to remember them all, but yeah, I mean the basics are there. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to be training people at work to be able to communicate with, a lot of the people who obviously they have difficulty understanding sometimes when some people speak too quickly, different accents. Yeah, can overload them a bit at times. If you've got short, concise signs you can do with them, maybe hopefully it'll help. That's the plan.
Well, I mean that's brilliant. I'd ask you to do some, but ask you to do some for us, but it doesn't really work in an audio podcast.
It doesn't really. No, you put me on the spot last year, and I looked a bit of a bird. I look like one of those people in the corner on.
Yeah, I do remember you mentioning it. Now you mention it, so well done for passing. That's great.
Yeah, I passed it. About 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, and I did my first actual, with a projector and set everything up, and did my first training exercise with about 10, 12 staff, I guess, just to test the water, and it seemed to go well. I had no complaints, so. Yeah.
Well, so see if you can teach some Latics players to do it so they can communicate while they're on the pitch.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Well, there was some very rudimentary sign language being directed towards Carl Robinson yesterday at the game. That's for sure. But yeah, before we come on to that, tell us who you are.
Yeah, I'm Dan Walker. Obviously, been following the club since 1988. Yeah, but I go to games when I can. Obviously, my work means I can't come every weekend, and I miss quite a few Tuesday night games. But yeah, me and my brother have, mainly due to our nephew, really, has reawakened our interest, and we try and get to every game we can now. Which, I'll be honest, during the previous ownership, I'm not even going to say the names. I lost interest a bit, to be honest. Found it soul destroying going. So yeah, there we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I've already expressed my lack of enthusiasm, but to say yesterday was soul destroying would certainly be an overstatement. I think in Latics terms and in recent history terms. Did you go yesterday, Dan?
No, I didn't make it to yesterday's because I booked the weekend off to go to Notts County, thinking that would be a more enjoyable away trip, and I was wrong there as well.
No, it was equally they were equally unenjoyable for different reasons, I guess. But it was on the telly, wasn't it? So I guess you both watched it.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it was. If anything, it was worse than Notts County in a lot of ways. I felt we at least had something of a threat against Notts County in the second half, at least. Anyway. I don't know. Maybe it just felt like a better away day, Notts County. Maybe it was going to Nottingham, and we went in the pub and met with a few people, had a laugh. I guess because I sat and watched it at home yesterday. I was like, this is mind-numbing to watch. It was, found myself leaving the room going for brews every 5 minutes. To be honest, it was. There was never any inkling that we were going to get back in the game. To me, it was that bad. We had a 15-minute spell against Notts County, didn't we, in the second half, where we had a bit of a go. I just didn't see that yesterday. I don't think it was a lack of effort. Just a lack of ideas. Just no creativity, nothing. And defensively, we looked to shambles as well, which hasn't been us this season. But the last two away games, we've been shambolic at the back. If it wasn't for Matt Hudson, we'd be looking at cricket scores in 2 games, I think. I don't know what's happened.
Well, let's discuss what's happened.
Yeah. I think an obvious thing that's happened is Don Donovan Daniels is injured. I think that's
Yes,
we had and that's not. This is nothing. Not Will Sutton. I think was actually doing all right yesterday. I think on the whole, and I think he's a capable player, but he's not Daniels. He's not an experienced leader.
No.
I think losing Conlon and Daniels.
Conlon is massive.
Yeah.
People, I still read idiots. I shouldn't say it. I know idiots on X slagging him off and saying he's crap and stuff like that. I'm like, what game are you watching? He runs the midfield. He runs our team. He's absolutely crucial to our team, and I think we're going to struggle to replace him. I know that sounds negative, but
well, I think we are going to have to replace him insofar as I don't think Woods is a replacement for him. Like yesterday. What Conlon does is what Conlon brings to the team is what he does off the ball, and he tracks runs, he tackles. He's not as and he's all over the place, and he's an organizer and he's a talker, and I think that we're lacking that now. We really are. I think Daniels was probably the next in line to be that guy, former captain at Walsall and whatnot.
Yeah,
so I think we're lacking. I thought that yesterday at Salford, watching it up close, especially in the first half when we were defending the away end. Just watching the players, just looking at the sort of the people who were on it, who were organising, who were talking, who were berating, all that didn't seem to be much of it that I could see, and I think that
right hand side of defence, they were walking through us, and I don't want to slag the guy because I love Regan Ogle, and I thought he was great for most of last season. For me, I have my doubts whether he's up to this standard. I seriously have doubts whether there are 2 or 3 players that we've stuck with out of loyalty, maybe aren't quite up to the standard of this level.
Well, we're giving the benefit of the doubt in recent weeks insofar as he's just come back from injury, but I think and it's a new division for players. So I think what we'll have with him is he'll have some games will be better than others, and he'll be tested more against certain players than other players. I thought let's look at the positives. I thought we started the game pretty well.
Yeah,
I thought
first 10 minutes.
Down the left-hand side, thought Hannant and Robson were causing no issues down that side. And then, that referee yesterday was shocking. He really was poor.
He was crap.
But that decision to when Hannant got watching the thing happen, Hannant was trying to get past the man to get to the ball. Their lad just was not interested in the ball. He was just holding Hannant.
He was going to take him out, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I thought it was poor that he just gave a throw in.
Very shocking. I don't think we can argue the penalty so much. I've seen it again, and I'm pretty certain it's a penalty.
It was
my only complaint about the penalty is that there were 2 of their players encroaching in the area, and one of them scored from it. So it should have been retaken. Or we didn't react.
We didn't react quick enough to that penalty when it came off the post. Everybody was slow, and Matt Hudson didn't get up again quickly enough. He continues to be grounded. So the player coming in easily beaten to the header, but there were lots of stationary people. So it's really disappointing. But I think Matt is right. Either side of that goal, 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after, we had most of the ball, and it was played in their half mainly.
But without
didn't do anything with it.
Really creating anything again, which is the problem, isn't it? We're not creating anything, and if you're not, it's state the obvious. But if you're not scoring goals, you're not going to win many games.
I look back on we'll talk about the personnel and the starting 11 and all that kind of stuff in a minute. But I watched there's extended highlights on YouTube. It was 12 minutes or so. And there was some clear cut, really decent chances. Like in the first half, Tom Pett had a really good shot. I think if it goes either side of the keeper, it might go in, but it was tipped over the bar. Woods had a shot from outside the area. The keeper saved. That's 2 on target. Quigley had a really good opportunity, which he just passed to the keeper with his left foot. Is he right-footed, Quigley?
I thought he was left-footed, to be honest. I could be wrong.
I'd like to think he's right-footed, because if that's the best he's got on his left foot, then we are in trouble. Because, he actually had he wasn't at a great angle to put it in with his left foot, but he did have time to come back onto his right, I thought. So that was another. So there was 3 decent chances in the first half. And then in the second half, Mellon had a sort of a scuff volley thing. Kai Payne had a chance to get one on target, smashed it over the bar. Joe Garner's chance was a really good one at the end.
Yeah, it was. I know he was
hit it over the bar. So there was chances again, like you said, to win to score, but we just can't take them for toffee, can we?
I mean, we don't create that many clear-cut chances generally, I don't think. It was like Barrow at home the other week. 10 minutes in, I was like, we're not going to score here. You could see the pattern. And when we don't create enough, and when we do, we fluff our lines.
But Andy, you would look at the stats and maybe suggest that that's not the case, wouldn't you? There's been plenty of chances and expected goals and all that.
Well, there was another stat came out this week that if you plotted XG and XGA against each other, so expected goals for and against, we had the best record in the league.
I saw we were top
2 in the league. So I think we have.
I mean, I don't disagree. There are games earlier in the season where I'm like, God, Barnet at home, we should have won that. Where we missed golden opportunities. But the last couple of games I've seen, I don't know. I feel like we're not creating.
Well, certainly Notts County and Salford, we struggled more, I'd say. But
and Barrow, we had 18 shots, it said, but I can't remember 18 attempts. Not worthwhile attempts anyway. But again, quickly missed one there, didn't he? He should be scoring. He hit it against the defender on the line, didn't he? Mm. You've got to be scoring chances like that. And it's every week now we seem to be missing chances like that. And it's not just Drummond. So, because everybody was like, oh, it's just Drummond who misses them. It's not. Mellon missed 2 against Barnet that he should have scored, didn't he?
Speaking of Mellon, let's have a chat about Michael Mellon. He's on big wages because he's a Premier League player, promoted last season from the Championship with Burnley. Or he's certainly on the books anyway, you know what I mean, at that level. He's moved down to League 2. Has he scored a couple of penalties for us? Or one penalty?
I think he's only taken 1 penalty.
What, has he scored 3 goals for us?
I think he scored 3 goals, yeah.
Well, I won't ask any leading questions. I just want to know what we think about his contribution.
There was an article that I referred to, which you can search on the internet, where there was somebody involved in Burnley who had, I think, mistakenly issued a sort of a commentary on a lot of Burnley's players, and Michael Mellon got caught in that for a bit of flack for being lazy, in inverted commas. And I referenced it when we signed him. And I think sometimes players, it's very easy to label a player lazy when they're not just running around like a headless chicken all day. And I'm not going to subscribe to that view necessarily. But I think it would be fair to say that he didn't affect the game himself yesterday. He was quite anonymous for a lot of it, and he didn't particularly show any hunger to try and affect the game. And I think that's potentially the type of player he is from observing him. I've seen wonderful glimpses for him in games where he's shown a lot of class, first touch, movement, passing ability. I think he's a very accomplished centre forward. He's a young boy. I think he'll have a career well in excess of League 2, possibly not the Premier League, maybe good League One championship striker in years to come. Yeah. So he's definitely. I'm pleased we've got him because I think he's a good player. But the problem with young players who don't have a bank of experience behind them is this: they will go missing from time to time, and they will have a bad day. And I think that was one for him. I'm quite happy just to pass and move on, and hopefully he learns from that. But I think.
Well, the question
Mickey hooked him, didn't he, yesterday? So he obviously saw the same.
Yeah, and it was crying out for Joe Garner maybe a bit earlier, just because we didn't match Salford in their nastiness, their aggression. They're a proper Carl Robinson team, horrible. But I don't hold that against them because it's part of the game, and we're too. I think we are too nice. I think we needed, when Fondop came on, we needed Fondop's aggression. He needed to be, and he was a proper handful, and he was winning a lot more headers and causing a bit more chaos in the Salford back line. Obviously, it came to nothing, but. What's the best? How do we get the most out of Mellon? Because he is technically the best of the bunch.
I don't know. I mean,
who do we play within? What formation do we play?
Well, I mean, the problem with Quigley, I don't know what it is. He works. I think he works a lot harder than people give him credit for. Actually, there were people saying he was anonymous yesterday. I thought he grafted and got and I thought he did some good things, but. I don't know. It's hard to say. I still personally think we need another striker. I said months ago that I think we need two in, because I don't see that Garner's going to last us. He's not going to play a full season, is he? Well, he's already not done. Fondop causes havoc, but I'm not convinced he's up to League Two. Much as we love him, I'm not convinced he's up to League Two standard. Harrott's vanished, hasn't he? And again, I'm not convinced by that one either. Quigley's not going to score enough goals, but I think he does cause problems. Didn't yesterday particularly, but neither did anybody else for that matter. But I don't know. I'm at a loss really, to be honest. I don't know whether it's tactics or whether it's the team selection.
We've got to talk about again.
I wasn't overly worried the other week, a few weeks back, and I'm still not. I think we've got more than enough to not get dragged into trouble. But
we've got no one's looking beneath us. I don't think. We've got to talk about Tom Pett being played on the right hand side of midfield. We've got to talk about midfield. We've got to talk about the lack of width in the side. For me. With Conlon being missing, I would go to a 3-5-2. I said it last week, and I'll stick to the same observation now. I
agree with you.
I think the issue we've got is playing with a flat back four, where you've got two full backs instead of wing backs. Robson, I really do like. I think he's an excellent signing, and he can do a job pretty much any side on that left flank well. I agree with you, Dan, on Ogle. I've said it a couple of times now. I do have some concerns. Yesterday, again, same as Barrow, he doesn't stop enough crosses. So whoever he's pitched up against on that left side gets the ball into the box far too easily. He
struggles against pace as well, doesn't he?
He doesn't get tight enough to the defender when defending. He drops off a little bit, and the reason he drops off a little bit is when he gets tight, he gets spun. And so I've got a little bit of concern about his defensive ability at this level. He's a good lad, and I like him, and he was part of that promotion side, and he was pretty solid, and I want to give him time to readjust, but there is potential that he's not good enough. And so if that's the case, if you went to a 3-5-2, if you assume Daniels is back and you've got Sutton and Month either side of that three, then that gives you license. Right. That gives you license then to play wing backs. And then I'd be giving Robson a go as wing back. I don't know whether he's a wing back or a full back, but I'd be giving him a go as a wing back. And then you could put Caprice on the right hand side and pack the middle out then with Woods sitting in front of the back three and Payne and Pett trying to get forward, supporting the two strikers. Because the problem is when you're playing four in the middle, and as we've pointed out, when it's four in the middle and it was Conlon and Woods, we weren't attacking enough. When it's Woods on his own in there with Conlon missing, we just look a bit weak in the middle. We haven't got the legs required. So I'd go to 3-5-2 to affect it. Now, who plays up front with Mellon? It's one of Fondop or Quigley, because you need a big lad alongside him to try and cause a bit of havoc. You'd probably go Fondop at the minute, because I don't think Quigley is affecting the games enough. I didn't really like the signing. He's not done much to make me change my mind.
Overawed by it.
So that might be how you go, or you try Garner alongside Mellon, or on occasions Garner and Fondop did pretty well last season as a pair, and maybe in the playoff run, those two were up front. Maybe you give that little go and give Mellon a rest here and there. I'm kind of okay with all those scenarios, but I think playing with a 4-4-2 at the minute is we're not affecting games enough. So therefore, we're going to have to try something a bit different, and that's probably where it comes out. I want to see Pett in the middle. I don't want to see him on the right hand side.
100%. Or the left. Oh, the left.
Or the left,
Ended up
as you
yesterday.
said.
Yeah, the left. Yeah. I don't get that, but I mean, like I said, it's not. I'm way less. I'm not dejected. Like when we were getting beat by bloody tram stops. I got quite.
Salford are a tram stop.
Yeah,
I know they are, but they're now an established tram stop at this level, and they've got the budget to be up there every year, haven't they? For me, I don't feel dejected like I used to do. I'm just enjoying the ride at the minute, even though it's not great. I do think we're on the right track. And I think
100%.
Yeah. So for me, I don't feel like not county way. It just felt great to be able to go to a proper football ground like that again. I'm like, we're back. We've got a football club again. So for me, I'm a lot more optimistic than I used to be, which might seem odd to a lot of people. But I feel like we've got way less to complain about than we did anyway.
We're in 17th.
There are problems.
We're in 17th, Dan. So there's a sense of familiarity, around us all. I think. I think going to Salford and getting beat is as unpleasant as it isn't. We're not. There's going to be plenty of teams that go to Salford and get beat, right? And so it's not the end of the world as long as we beat them at home. What is a massive, massive, massive game is next weekend, Shrewsbury at home.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They beat Crawley. Crawley had a man sent off. They won 1-0. They are 3 points behind us in the table. And, we've only won one game at home this season. We have to beat Shrewsbury at the weekend. And
home form is a concern, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think if we don't, I think, and maybe a couple of other teams such as Harrogate, Tranmere, Accrington, Stanley pick up results, we're going to be dropping towards the bottom of the table, and psychologically, it starts to look a little bit different. I think because we're getting dragged into that end of the table, and if we're not scoring goals, then and we do have wobbles at the back, then we are going to be in trouble. Like we're not beyond that at all. So we do need to book things up. We do need to. Micky Mellon does need to sort it out in terms of what is the best formation with the squad he's got. We've got injuries again, unfortunately, and he has to adapt. And I think that I agree. I think Woods plays very, very close as it is to the back four. It's kind of a back five. He's very, very close. He doesn't close midfielders down. He doesn't press. He sits very deep. It helps create a lot of space. Kai Payne was kind of in that space then, kind of on his own, not really affecting the game, I thought. And so that midfield area just needs sorting out.
Is Kai Payne even fit? It doesn't look. I've not seen anything from him. He had
a bad injury, didn't he, in pre-season? Yeah. So it will take him a little bit of time to get up to speed. But
he looked totally lost at Notts County.
I thought he looked pretty lost yesterday. He
wasn't great yesterday either.
You were talking, Andy, about affecting the game. Like Mellon affecting the game, and so I thought the same with Payne. I think if you're in the middle of the and again, I think that's why we need to have Pett in there, because I think centre of midfield. If as a centre midfielder, and I played a bit of centre midfield, that you've got to be affecting the game. It's a key position for getting on the ball and dictating things. And yesterday again, we would get the ball, 3 or 4 passes, and then we were done. We're giving it away because we've not got the kind of movement and options off the play with the ball. There's not the options to pass to and to move around. It comes from that centre of midfield, because if the ball goes up the left or up the right, and the centre midfield aren't joining in the play to give them that extra option, then it all falls down, and that's happening over and over again. So I think there is work to do. What we have to do is we have to say that we trust Micky Mellon to do that work. So let's listen to him now and see what he has to say about yesterday's performance.
Micky, how do you reflect on that 90 minutes?
I'll go through all this stuff, but first things first, you needed a stronger referee. Definitely needed a stronger referee, needed a better referee. Us as a team, I think that's the 6th time we've given away a goal in the first 15 minutes. it's going to make it very difficult for yourself. It's poor defending, just a straight ball. We need to do better. And then when it hits the post, we're going to do better again. Then we kind of huffed and puffed, but didn't give the supporters enough to get excited about, probably until about the last, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes when Joe and Michael kind of competed a wee bit more, maybe up there, and we get a couple of little half chances. But we showed a lot of effort, and they worked hard, and but we have to play better. I don't think we particularly played very well with the ball. It was made very difficult when we went down to 10 men, but I think we were a wee bit, I don't know, maybe in the first half I think we go a goal down against the run of play. I think that we were probably the better team in probably the first 15-20 minutes. But again, we gave away that first goal, which makes it very, very difficult for yourself. And we didn't really do enough up until the sort of last 15 minutes when we went down to 10 men to give everybody anything to get excited about.
Two big decisions, I suppose, the penalty and then the red card in the second half. What were your take on both of them?
I'm too far away. I don't know, but the defending's poor from our point of view. I don't know, I haven't seen it back, Alan. But I wouldn't be sure about him getting the decision right all day anyway, so I'm not. I would be really unsure about that. The sending off, I don't know. I don't even know if does Will go for the ball. Does the guy just sort of run and clip Will? I don't know. I think everybody was quite surprised that when a red card came, but I think all day, and our performance aside, because we have to play better, I thought he was really poor. And it's a shame. It probably deserved a better referee, and we didn't get one today. But that aside, we have to perform better.
Luke Hannant was forced off in the first half. How was he?
I mean, how does that not get officiated there? How does that not get refereed, that moment there? That is dangerous. And you can see his knee, it's dangerous. And didn't do anything about it. He's got a gash in his knee. So we'll see how he goes next week. I don't know if he can bend it. I know sometimes that gets sore later on, but he's got a really bad gash.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. All right, guys.
Overall assessment.
We didn't play. We huffed and puffed first sort of 10-15 minutes. Gave the goal away in the first. Lost the first goal again too early. Poor defending. I think up to that point, I think we were looking okay. With it being brilliant, but we're looking okay. And a couple of efforts at goal, keepers made a good save. But then the game just kind of became, I don't know, we had to show a wee bit more urgency and we had to be better with the ball. Effort-wise, I could never fault us. We always have a right good go, but we had to show a lot more quality in order to try and make it more difficult for Salford. And then we come out the second half and we go down to 10 men very early. And to be fair, we still keep working hard and we turn it into a scrap. We've been brilliant with the ball, but we turn it into a bit of a battle and we force a few things and we do get our opportunity and we don't take it. But over the course of the game, I don't think that we played anywhere near that we were capable of.
Two big decisions, a penalty and of course sending off of Will Sutton. What was your take on it?
I haven't seen the penalty. I'm too far away. I think from our point of view, the defending's poor to be able to roll the ball between the two centre halves like that and for him to get in is poor. I think Manny makes an honest charge for the ball. I always look where the ball goes and it went across the box. So but I can't be honest with you and say that I would know because I'm so far away. The sending off, I think I was as surprised as everybody to see a red card going up. I think that would be fair to say. I don't think Will even made an attempt for the ball. I think the guy sort of maybe hit his heel or something. I don't know. But did they make an obvious challenge for the ball? Will to foul the guy? No. We find ourselves down to 10 men and we rally and we try and keep two up front and we go a wee bit bold and we turn it into a bit of a scrap and we get our opportunity but we aren't able to take it. But over the course of the game we weren't able to make them defend enough.
What is your assessment, back in the EFL up to now, how you've dealt with everything and the adjustments, I guess, really?
If you watch today, we're still very much a team that needs to learn, a team that needs to understand what they ask the game or every game, and stop giving away the first goal. That's six times this season we'll give away the first goal. Anybody who knows about stats and all the rest of it understands how difficult it becomes to make it for yourself if you keep giving that away, because you're always chasing the game. And that's what we did again today in the first 15 minutes, which we speak about, we talk about, we say, come on, let's keep it tight and all the rest of it. But then we knock off for a minute, for a moment, because I think the first half, that up until that moment, we were all right, we were fine. But we knocked off in one moment and we shot ourselves in the foot.
What did you make of the collision into the perimeter advertising?
Shocking. Yeah. And not to get, for the referee to protect players in the moments, I thought it was poor. I would be disappointed if any player was sort of involved in that sort of thing. But for my lad to get a gash knee like that, when he's lucky it wasn't serious. But I'm not surprised with the refereeing performance that I've seen this afternoon, and that's going to be trying to get away from our performance. I thought that he was as bad as what you could have had for a game like this. It needed a stronger referee, a better official, that could have taken control of time wasting and all the rest of it, and it didn't for the entire game, and made a lot of decisions that I think everybody was head scratching. Thank you.
Micky Mellon there speaking to Alan from Latics Player, and I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Jack Dearden from BBC Radio Manchester. What interesting stat there, Andy. You're into your stats this season, but that's 6 games we've been behind out of 13.
I've got another stat for you to build upon that. We have been in front in games for just 155 minutes this season. Yeah. That's it.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so I actually had this stat 2 weeks ago, but didn't use it because I had another one. There were only 2 teams that have been in front in games less than us, and they were Shrewsbury and I think Newport. But since then, in the last 2 games, we've been in front for none of the 180 minutes, and both those teams have won games in the last fortnight. So I suspect that 155 minutes is now the worst in the league. So the sort of diametrically opposed stats that you can throw at us are XG and XGA is the best, and we've been in front for the least amount of time of anyone. and so it paints a perfect picture of our profligacy in front of goal. Really, we do not put away those chances that we have created. And I think, Dan, you're probably right. As the weeks have progressed, we're creating less and less obviously clear-cut chances. But we have had a lot of chances in games to have scored goals. And I think that, coming back to what we discussed earlier, is he's going to have to change it, because now with personnel missing, with us creating less, we're going to have to go with a different system. So obviously Will Sutton's now going to be banned for 2 games, assuming we don't appeal it. And I don't think we will, because appeals very rarely go in your favour, do they? So you're probably going to have to bring the young Olsen lad in from Blackburn and give him a go. I noticed in the week, O'Grady Macken, who we've seen literally nothing of, has got his knee in a brace. So he's another lad who's out for a while.
Well, that answers that one then, doesn't it?
So you're gonna have to bring. I'd go with also, if Daniels is fit, hopefully he's close. He was on the grass in the week, but not training fully. Daniels, Olsen probably starts against Shrewsbury, and we're going to have to go for it. And you were at home against a team which is struggling, or has been struggling, and is beneath us. So I think we have to take the game to them. And for me, that's getting on the front foot with more attacking threat in the lineup.
I mean, just looking at the table and the obvious stats, they're minus 10 in their goals. So they've scored 10, but they've conceded 20. So they score as few as we do. Whether or not they create the same level of chances and just don't put them away, or whether they don't create very much. But I think, like you said, there's no reason not to play 3 at the back and just go for it against Shrewsbury next week. We've got to really just put them under pressure. We've got to score the first goal. We've got to shoot a lot more. We've got to get midfielders in and around the edge of the box, having a pop. at the goal. We had a couple of those yesterday. We've got to do it more. And I think that we've got to get through till January now, with us picking up as many points as we can. And I think that there will be obvious need to do some business, try and get shot of some of the players, free up some of the squad. I think Joe Garner, really like Joe Garner, but I don't think he's fit enough, long enough. I think we need to get rid of him as at Christmas time and bring in somebody who is going to score us goals. I think who's going to offer a genuine.
Well, he's only contracted to Christmas, isn't he?
Well,
that's right. Yeah, I know he is. Yeah. So
yeah.
what I'm saying is that I wouldn't give him another contract. I
do know he's going into coaching. Joe Garner started his own kids coaching thing.
Joe Garner is
my nephew's being coached by him in a minute.
Yeah,
he doesn't think he's going to be around for long.
I don't think so. I mean, I think he's a hero. I think what he did during the playoffs was incredible, brilliant. And I'd love to see that out of him. But we need people that are competition for a starting space at Latics. We're not someone who's going to start 75-80% of the games on the bench, even if they are fit. So there's that, and I think January is going to be important. We've got to pick up more points and not be in and around the bottom of the table.
I think we'll draw enough games to stay away from danger. I think we're going to
draw. Drawing games gets you into danger. It's winning games.
It does, but I think we'll pick up the odd win.
Picking up points on the road is fine. We've got to start winning our own games.
Just to add to the stat, Shrewsbury Town, their XG before yesterday was just about 10. So they'd scored about as many goals as been expected to. But actually, defensively, their defensive setup is not a great deal worse than ours on the XGA. So they've been not that bad at the back in terms of what their expected goals have been. They've conceded more than they've expected to. So it won't necessarily be easy, but I think we're going to have to take it to them and get on the front foot, aren't we? Sitting back and trying to pack out. You're right. Yesterday, when Salford had the ball, you could see our midfield four very close to our defensive back four. There was 6 yards, 10 yards in between them. They needed to be another 10 yards further up the pitch than they were. And so we're going to have to get more offensive players on the pitch, aren't we, to try and affect that.
More legs.
Just out of interest, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't got any intel here to suggest this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had a go at getting Yoga Nathan back in January, because he's not catching at Barnsley any longer. He's been on the bench a lot, and they may see it as a good thing to get him out on loan and get him some games in the second half of the season. Now, that's the type of player I think that we probably do need. Someone to drive forward through the middle.
Yeah.
I'd say that. Look, and the thing is, Andy, this, a manager's job, it's difficult throughout the season. He gets all kinds of things thrown at him. He has to put out fires.
We're the fire experts, fire safety experts at Pendle New Tech. We train fire marshals, fire safety marshals at Pendle New Tech. Pendle New Tech have fire experts across the UK, covering all your local and national needs. With over 100 years experience in the fire safety industry, you know that you can trust Pendle New Tech. Right, enough of that now.
Right.
Lovely.
Professional.
Back in segue.
Very upset.
Hey?
So I missed that. Very upset.
Did he not play? That's weird.
No, I didn't play it, no.
That's odd. Anyway.
I hear it every week anyway.
Yeah, when you listen back, you can sing along. Before we play Laticsmind, I don't want to dwell on this topic, but I do want to raise it because there is something I want to say. But it's about yesterday with the pitch invasion and all that, and what happened and the question of politics in football. That pissed me off yesterday, and I posted on social media about it. Lots of people agree with me. Some people disagree with me. Probably most of the people who disagree with me, I didn't see their responses because I mute them or I block them, and I'm, whatever. But there's no place for politics in football, and I'm not bringing politics into football by talking it on my podcast. I'm I'm commenting on people who are bringing politics into football. We've heard chants at Boundary Park. We've heard chants at Notts County.
Yeah.
We've heard it. We've heard it.
Embarrassing,
The England fans chanting in Latvia. Could hear them bringing politics in. Britain First yesterday, who are a racist, fascist, far-right party. There's no question that that's what they are. Using football, weaponizing football. Nigel Farage with his football shirts for reform. Like there are people who are bringing party politics into football, and it's not something. It's not a place where it belongs. And yesterday there was people around me yesterday who were cheering and gleefully egging on these people who were coming on the pitch. That makes me uncomfortable because I diametrically opposed to those politics. And then it opens up the conversation in the ground about these things, and that's where my problem lies. You see, I don't want. That's not for us to be having an argument or a discussion. Now, I knew the people around me, and we were able to cut it off. We were able to say, "Look, we're here to support Latics, not talk about this," and that's the point. Bringing this stuff into a football stadium is divisive amongst the fan base, and just because the people who maybe think, oh, that's really funny and really brilliant, shout the loudest, doesn't mean that they're in the majority. It just means that they shout the loudest about it. And it's to be kept off the terraces. And you'll know, Andy, that I've circulated something within some of our groups about a podcast that I want to start, and I'm going to start it pretty soon. And this is a shout out because I don't think that this is the place to be talking about politics because it's a football podcast. But if people keep bringing it into the stadium, then we can comment on it. I think that's legitimate because what happened yesterday was at our Latics game. Little Reese, what's he called? Little Reese, the vlogger. Parsons, Little Reese Parsons. He chirped up yesterday saying that shouldn't be talking about it on the Latics account. It happened at a Latics game, right? It's very much relevant, right, to what happened at the game. I don't want to be talking about it either, but like if it happens at a Latics match, then it's perfectly legitimate to talk about it and commentate on it and have an opinion on it. So I don't want to see politics brought into football. I don't want to. Now, there's also people saying, well, things like bend the knee and kick it out. There's things that we can talk about.
There's an argument. There's an argument.
And on the other side, but I think, and the podcast. So I'm starting a podcast called Off the Terraces, right? Because I think that football and politics should be kept off the terraces, right? And I want to.
Although I will say, I've just said actually that there's an argument for it. Kick it out. There isn't an argument for it, actually. It's not political.
It's not
about
political.
Not racially abusing,
not being
players,
racist. Yeah,
which is if you're
racism
human,
isn't.
Why the fuck would you racially abuse somebody? It's nothing
political
about
that. But there are political parties out there who are racist, and that's a whole other conversation. But so what I want to do is I'm starting a podcast called Off the Terraces. United by football, divided by politics, right? We go into a football ground for one purpose, and that's to support our team against another team, right? And anything that divides us in that scenario is unhealthy. It doesn't help the cause, which is to back the team to win football matches, and a lot of people go to football to get away from all the everyday shit.
As I posted on Twitter as a response to you yesterday.
Exactly.
So escape from all this crap,
Exactly. So. And I've never been to a football ground and chanted my political beliefs, right?
Why would you? I mean,
I've never heard any people who have political terraces, right? So there is an issue, and I would argue that the issue is, coming from one direction rather than the other. But the point is, I would like to sit down. I don't want to be divided from my fellow football fans or the people who I live in the town with. I want to be able to agree to disagree and have healthy conversations and, learn and help us all learn and grow and develop and, deal with things in a rational adult way. So what I'm doing now is I'm inviting people who would like to, who are Oldham Athletic supporters, who would like to talk about their political views to get in touch. And I want people from all different political spectrums. I want us to sit down and I want us to have conversations and try and find out why we feel the way we feel, why we all react differently to the same set of issues and to the same things, and see if we can find some common ground and let's talk about it in an environment that is appropriate, i.e., off the terraces, off the football podcast, because there's no question that it's starting to come into the game, and I am not the kind of person who's just going to turn my head and pretend it's not happening and ignore it. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's healthy enough. The football club aren't going to say anything. Latics aren't really going to say anything because they're keeping. I can't say keep politics out of football and then expect Latics to get involved.
I mean, I guess the problem is the idiots that came on don't appear to be affiliated to.
Well, they weren't football fans, Dan. They weren't Oldham fans or Salford fans. They were just there to,
I will also say as well, the people who laugh when these people run on, a lot of them, to be fair, might not have a political agenda. And like when a streaker runs on and they all go, hey!
Yeah, of course.
Quite a few people who just think it's funny when some idiot runs on the pitch.
But we have to have an understanding of what's going on. I think outside the game and how it's coming into the game. Anyway, the point is, I want to create a forum for us to talk. I am not trying to be divisive by expressing my political views in wherever I express them. And so I don't want to fall out with fellow Oldham fans over political views, but if people are going to bring those views into a football ground and it's going to continue to happen and it's going to get more prominent, then it needs we need to try and have
if
people
are going to voice it, you have a right to respond.
Well, yeah, we have to have some. I think we have to have some kind of forum in which we can discuss these things in a much healthier way, and so that's why I'm starting this podcast. So if you would like to talk to other Latics fans and have debates and discuss this and off the terraces, then give us a shout. Email us info@weareoldham.co.uk. Send us a private message on social media, DM, where it's at Oldham Fan Media, and we'll make it happen, and we'll see, and let's just have adult grown-up conversations about these things and see if that is useful. Don't know if it will be or what or not, but
supporting Oldham's divisive enough as it is.
Exactly, so. It's hard enough work. It's hard enough work being an Oldham fan without bringing this kind of shit
falling out with people at ground.
Exactly, and that's my view, and that's my, it's not a solution, but it's doing some. That's why I feel I need to do something proactive
healthy debate and healthy dialogue. There's nothing wrong with it. That's great. It's when people resort to name calling and and nonsense.
Social media brings the worst out of me. Yesterday, I was calling Reece names yesterday on social media.
Yeah, I've not been great over the years because I used to drink quite a bit at the games, and then after the game, especially if we were crap, and I'd rant on the forum afterwards, and I'm like, I come back a couple of hours later when I'd sobered up a bit, and I go, I wish I hadn't put that. I could have phrased that a bit better.
And that's it. And it's not helpful. And I don't look back on some of the tweets I've sent in the past with much pride, but when you sit down with people and you have a conversation, you're looking each other in the eye, it's a totally different situation, and it could be a lot more productive. So if you would like to be involved in Off the Terraces, give us a shout and let us know. All sides of the political persuasions, and it will be it's not going to be one side via the other, or no one's trying to catch anyone out. It's just having a conversation. Right, there we go. That's it. That's my assessment on yesterday and what to do about it if that's the right phrase. Are you ready to play Laticsmind?
These clowns won't be going back to another game at Oldham anyway, will they? Or Salford? I'm sure.
Well, those two won't. No, that's for sure.
So every clown,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm ready as I'll ever be, I guess. Yeah.
Are you ready, Andy?
Yeah.
Crack on.
Okay.
Can you make it from an era that I like?
Don't pass on too many. Give the wrong answers if you don't know them, because otherwise I have to answer them, and then that makes me look daft when I don't know the answer.
Fair enough.
All right. Good luck. Laticsmind is sponsored by Oldham Athletic Supporters Foundation, investing in the fans, the club, and the community. Join today at oasf.co.uk for just £12 a year. OASF, because we're stronger together.
Which former Latics manager has also had managerial spells at Scarborough and Bury?
Andy Ritchie. Oh, no, it's not. It's Neil
Oh, Neil
Redfern.
Warnock.
No, it's not. Neil Warnock, sorry.
Which former Latics defender is currently at Middlesbrough?
It's a Scottish lad, isn't it? Pass.
Pass. Which talismanic forward re-signed for the club in 2018, having served a ban for recreational drug use?
Jose Baxter.
Correct. Who scored twice in a 2-0 win at Northampton Town in March 2003?
Reeves. David Reeves. Or was it David Ayres?
It was Wayne Andrews.
Oh,
Who
right.
has managed Latics? Who has managed Latics in more competitive games? Graham Sharp, Paul Dickov, or Lee Johnson?
Lee Johnson.
Wrong. It was Paul Dickov. Which player retired after relegation from the Premier League in 1994?
Retired. Andy Barlow.
It was Roger Palmer.
Of
Latics
course.
only won 2 league away games in 1997-98. Can you name one of them?
Plymouth.
Correct. Which former Latics manager started his career at Dumbarton?
Graham Sharp.
Correct. Graham Sharp. So, out of that, you scored 1, 2, 3. You got 3 correct, Dan, so not quite as good as last time. You had
dear.
1 pass in there. Let's see if you can get this pass right, Matt. Which former Latics defender is currently at Middlesbrough? Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, he is on mute, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Is he there as a player or in another capacity?
No, he's a player.
All right.
Is it the big lad who was playing for us under the Lensegam era? I can't remember his name.
No, it's not David Wheater.
No, I was thinking of Scottish defender.
Oh, is it? It's not Harry Clark, is it?
No, Harry Clark's at Ipswich. It's George Edmondson.
That's
Oh,
what
is it? Oh, yeah, of course,
Salford
yeah.
Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah.
George Edmondson. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I should. Anyway.
3, not bad. Oh, not bad.
No.
Yeah, they weren't that easy actually. Some of those I had to really dig back.
And the thing is, you haven't got too much time to think about it, have you? You've got to move on.
No.
So, but yeah, I mean, like we've said, they're getting harder, aren't they? You also mentioned while you were in there, Andy, you mentioned Northampton Town, who Latics have got at home in the FA.
Indeed.
What do you reckon? Are you happy with that? Home draw against anyone? Is that okay?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? You're aiming your eyes on the third round. We all want a third round draw, right? So for me, you just want the easiest possible draw. So it's a home draw, although our home record isn't great. It's a League One club, but they're not a big League One club. We're not had you drawn Cardiff or Stockport, I fear we might have been turned over. We've got a chance. We've got a chance to beat Northampton. So I guess that's all we can ask for. It's not an overly inspiring draw, but if we can get through that first round and hopefully draw another reasonable tie in round two, then round three's what we're aiming for, isn't it, really, at this level? Yeah. I'll take it.
And I would encourage everybody to get down to Boundary Park. I love their FA Cup. I think it's brilliant, and
it's my favourite competition still. So
and
even though we don't win often in it,
well, exactly. But it's a chance to get more revenue into the club. Ticket sales on the day. There's not going to be a load of Northampton fans travelling up for it. So let's try and get a good atmosphere in the ground, and it's a one-off game. Get into the second round and hopefully get a taste. Because look, the thing is, it'll make a big difference. Like if we can get into the third round and we get a money spinner, then it'll make a big difference for January for the budget. And, so it's well worth obviously we've got that Virtu or whatever it's called.
Well, we're out of that now, aren't we?
We're out of it,
We're
but it's
out
not,
anyway,
it's I think it's okay for fans not to take it seriously. I think the EFL Cup, we're out of as well. So this is the one opportunity for the cup to be a good revenue spinner for the club, and that will be important come January. And so I think let's try and get a really good crowd in for the Northampton game, try and win that one, and hope, fingers crossed we'll get to the third round and enjoy the excitement of being in that draw, which we haven't been in for when was the last time we were in the third round draw, Andy? Can you remember that off the top of your head?
Well, it's got to be when we beat Fulham, hasn't it?
I was thinking that, yeah. It's about 2019.
Yeah, that's
Something
right.
like that. Yeah.
So it's a while now. That's
when we got robbed by
7 years ago.
Doncaster, didn't we? Was it Doncaster again? I think who got a dodgy penalty or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Peter Clark scored all the goals, didn't he? Or was involved in all the goals in some way?
Yeah.
Peter Clark, he's made his 1,000th game, hasn't he now?
Yeah, fair play to him. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah.
Can you name another former Latic player that's played 1,000 games? Should be a Laticsmind question, that.
Yeah, it should, shouldn't it? Yeah, we'll leave it for that. Oh no, because people can research it now, can't they? Just in case.
Neil Redfern.
Oh, Neil Redfern, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Right, we made it through an hour, Andy. It was.
We've done. We've done all right to fill that. I will see you next week, won't I?
Oh yeah. So shall we say what's happening next week? So we've got a home game against Shrewsbury. Obviously, you wouldn't miss that one, Andy.
No, it's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, I should be there for that one. Hopefully, I think. Yeah, should be off.
So you're coming up, Andy, and last season we recorded one after the game, didn't we?
Yeah, so after Rochdale home last season.
Yeah, so it's you, me, and Mike Keegan in the studio next week. Straight after the game, so that should be fun. And I think as well we're gonna go for a few pints after.
Well, we could have. It'd be rude not to have a couple, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah, I don't have any gigs next weekend, so I am free to waste time and money on alcohol, which is nice.
Is there a Christmas catch-up thing this year? Is anybody doing anything this year? Do we know?
Not. Well, we're not. I can't be asked. But I mean, what's our? Oh, we're away on Boxing Day, aren't we? At Grimsby.
I think we've got Tranmere the week before Christmas or something. I normally come over the week before Christmas and stop over with, Pete Newell, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Tom and Pete. I normally go out for a few beers around Royton with them and then stop over. So
yeah, that would be a good one. That would be the Saturday on the 20th. Would be for Christmas. That would be good. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll be there in no time, won't we? Bloody Christmas. But before then, we've got that catch up again after the Shrewsbury game, which I'm looking forward to, and Latics football phone-in on Thursday. I'll be handing out we'll be selling fanzines again prior to the Shrewsbury games. Keep your eye out for that. If you want one, if you don't, then you don't have to buy one. It's not obligatory. We sold quite a few last time, so that's good. Dan, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, pleasure as always, and thanks for having me. And
no worries.
Keep up the good work. Yeah,
we'll do our best.
I watch you every week, so never missed one. So, I mean, I watch them back sometimes, but yeah, I've watched everyone. So, yeah, keep up the good work.
It's appreciated that you would listen to us drone on repeatedly.
Invite me back next time we win, though. When we win a game next time, can I come on? I keep coming on when we're not winning.
Well, that's the majority of fan guests. In fairness, there's not many.
I want people to see the other side, the optimistic, happy Dan.
Well, there's not many that are able to bask in that glow, I'm afraid. Right, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, lads. Thanks for listening to the podcast, everyone. Like I said, if you want to get involved in that other one after Territories, just give us a shout. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Hey Dave, did you know that listeners can now buy us a coffee or any other kind of hot beverage?
Ooh.
What's your favourite hot beverage, Dave?
A macchiato.
And how do you like your macchiato?
Black with lots of milk. Oh.
No cream?
No.
Well, if you want to buy Dave a
macchiato,
then go to buymeacoffee.com/We Are Oldham. I'll just have a Nescafe.
Ooh. Thank you, listeners.